Angelique, and I live in Law, and I'm working for a medical bill review company as a data analyst. So I came here because I wanted to know something new. That's why I'm here today.
Okay. Okay, so have you ever been an entrepreneur before in your life?
Yeah, I try to do like selling some stuff,
Okay.
like some goods, usually women stuff. I try to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next person.
Okay, thank you.
You're actually scheduled for 5 minutes. You usually start 1 minute.
I know, maybe if you ask me a question, I can say.
Oh, no worries. You can come back. Yes, please.
Oh, no. I'm very shy.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy and I live in Lowell. I work as an assistant manager for Guild. I don't know if any of you know Guild. It's an institute for people who have challenges like mental health and so on. Okay, I never been in an entrepreneurship forum. It's my first time. And then I'm here because my friend Amy invited me, and also I wanted to learn something different. I want to invest. I want to know where to put my energy into. And thank you.
Oh, you guys are just using seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Shaliwa, and I was invited by my auntie Angela. I currently work for the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. I'm a data coordinator, so I think I relate to her a little bit. I'm not very educated on financial stability, so I'm here to learn. My weaknesses, I would say, is saving. I'm not good at saving. I'm trying to learn. I would love to learn how to save and just learn a little bit more about financial stability. Yeah, my strength, I like to learn new things. So I'm also here to learn. Nice meeting you all. Oh, and I live in Lowell as well.
Wonderful.
I know, I was thinking over. Oh, yeah. I know, you just came back. Yeah.
Sorry for you. But you can give Mama Angela.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe a little bit.
Hello everyone.
Oh.
I'm very, very excited to see you all. Thank you very much for coming, for answering this call. It's very important for all of us. It is really good to know what you don't know. My name is Angela Narvoa, and in this place they call me Mama Angela because I accepted to be given that honor, so I cannot deny it. I'm a mother of 5, though now 4, and I've been in this place since 2022, and I came here looking for how I should do, what I should do, how I should do with my money, because I had an injury and had been home for almost a year, and I was seeing how my money was running so fast because of not working. And after that, I looked at myself like, do I really have to work hard like this when I can fall sick and lose the job and everything? Definitely, I even lost my job. So the woman I was running with, I was looking for somebody to advise me how to use it well, to save it, so that I don't go back in the same hole. So I came here for financial advice. And I was very skeptical because most financial advisors, you have to pay them periodically. to give you the advice, and I didn't know where to get that money I would be paying. The guy, if he asked me $2,000, then I'll go back and again pinch on my money. I didn't want to do that. But I came in anyway for financial advice. And when I came here, I was given a different page. I was told that here they don't charge anything. Everything is free, but they give financial education. They educated me and they talked to me all the challenges I was facing. I didn't know how to budget. When I would get a check, I would go and buy everything I felt I like. Even if I had it home, I would still buy. I had bought a car. I have a house. I had credit cards. And all of those were debts. And I didn't know how to come out of those debts. That was also killing me as I stayed home when not working. So all of those things were being hit hard on my brain. And I'm like, wait a minute, where am I? And Michael is the one who received me because like a week before he had put on a Zoom in your community forum on WhatsApp. And I'm at home, I'm thinking, I'm looking for ways. And when I look at the statement down, and a lot of people were putting in also about finance. These people, we are talking about finance. What do they want with the people's money? But when I inquired, I'm always very inquisitive, by the way, and I like learning. So I asked a little bit, they talked about him a little bit, and he said, let me go on his Zoom. So when he was educating, most of the things, as I said already, he was hitting me hard. And I hit front of showed them myself. I have kids here. And all along what I knew, I had that culture we have back home, that when you have a child, then you are hit the jackpot. When you grow old, who is going to take care of you? Your child. But I just say that is a selfish way to think and to plan as a parent, because in this country, it's money. And the people I am backing on to give me money, they are young families, they have got children, they are also working paycheck to paycheck like I was. And at the end of that day, I'm going to be a burden. Maybe they are going even to send me off before even I'm ready to go, because I become now a burden. And I looked at it like it was also selfish to think in terms of my children take care of me when I had been here in this country for over 20 years with nothing. And then I looked at my grandchildren and I'm like, what am I leaving them? He was talking about the legacy. I didn't have any legacy. So I told him, you know what? All of that you've been talking about, all those habits which they are talking about, I have them, but I don't know how to get out of them. So he said, oh, you can join us and we teach you, and also we are yearning to you to go and even teach the others, because out there are so many people who don't know what we talk about. And the first people I looked at was my family, because we're all in together, struggling. We work at the money, we don't see the money. I have many girls in the great number of my children, they are girls. We are always, taking care of ourselves, dress-wise, hair, face, nails, name it, wasting money. And with me, I had a large family back home. Whoever cried the tears, even if it was one tear like this, I would go to rescue. But when I was sit down, nothing myself with my disability, the money I sent home, not even a penny would come back here. Because whatever you give them is the free money, they also use it freely as they want, and it's not there. They are expecting more to send them. In fact, when I announced that I'm sick, they would always take on me and say, oh, Mama, you are still sick? Oh, so sorry. When are you going back to work? And I didn't know when I would be going back to work. So Michael told me that You can sign with us. In fact, you don't have to even to have capital to start this business. Just sign with some money, and by then it was $125. We take your background check, and then off you go. And that's what I did. And since then, I'm here. I'm learning a lot. I'm still learning. I'm helping friends, people. Wherever I find, I talk to anybody. I don't care. Don't be shy. Because people don't know what you know. Thank you very much for letting me share.
Eddie, now,
I think now
I think you're now. So basically, this session, we are introducing ourselves, what you do, what are, if you have any challenges that you would want help in, and then the strength, and any advice. So that's the session.
Thank you very much.
Camera.
Thank you, Mike. Just an introduction. My name is Edwin. The people called Eddie. I work with hands-on community care school. It's a training school in Burica. We teach caregivers. We help them, we train them to become home health aides, and help them get licensed in Massachusetts to become PNF, certified nurse assistant. And the other thing, we also help them get employment in nursing homes, and also on people's homes, like caregiving with families, elderly families. Yeah, basically, that's it about me. I shall talk more as we go along. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, Michael. My name is Billy Jimba. I'm a musician. Not a professional musician, but I'm a talented musician. I've been doing music for 22 years. I'm also a businessman. I started many businesses, especially in my country.
Where are you from?
Uganda. Yes. I've been in Europe for 15 years. If I came here, I've been here 9 years. But all the time I've been in a Western country, I don't remember when I was employed. I just employed myself. I try to start something like I feel like I want to challenge. Why? When I'm here, I feel like why these people employ me? Why can't I employ them? I feel like that challenging me. So when I came here, I started driving Uber because I feel like I want to have my own time, do my things in my own way. Then I also did some deliveries, just signing contracts with the. When I was in Europe, I was working with insurance. I was international private investigator. I had my own firm. So I work in insurance with another company. I do those stuff. But when I came here, I also had a massage therapy, right? Because I had a training and I got a diploma in mathematics. But it worked when I was in Europe. But when I came here, it was a little bit different. So I started a company called J Family. When I started that company, my plan was to go to Uganda and I bring coffee here. I roast coffee, I pack it, and then I sell. Because my plan was like, if I can, let's say, sell 1,000,000 copies of coffee here, even if I get $1, I will be making $1,000,000, you know. But unfortunately, I got a challenge with my country because basically I wanted coffee from Uganda because it's really different from other coffee. If you ever taste that coffee, Uganda coffee is different. It's different from Brazil. It's different from other countries. It's really different when you taste it. So I wanted to invest in that coffee. Especially if there is some issues in Uganda to get a license to bring coffee here. I really tried more than 3 years, spent a lot of money, but I couldn't succeed. Then I decided to look for any contract to work with my company. My company is 5 years now. Then I went into transportation. Right now, I got a contract with MAT. When I started, I had like 15 drivers. Unfortunately, today I have like 2 drivers. I'll tell you the challenge I went through. One, we have a problem with the community, in African community. When he started seeing a training company, everyone go into that business. Sometimes without even making a research about it, and they end up killing that business because they don't go with the experience. There's something happened to me when I started. I get a contract with MAT. We have so many Ugandan and Kenyan people. They had that there is a business for you talked about who talked about helping people with mental stuff. Yes, they had there is a business in which state? Arizona. At that time, we had some money for COVID, people got some loans, and all of them went to Arizona. All of them. And then when that business failed, all of them came back here. And then someone told them, if you get a contract with MAT, you're going to make a lot of money. So all of them. So it was like a month. Then I started asking my boss, guys, what happened? I don't want to get assignments. What's going on? They told me, everyone get a contract there. You need to make your own pricing. That I'm picking your client from low, because I'm in worth. Picking someone in low, I need $40. Then you charge another $2 per mile. After 5 miles, so you make your arrangement and then give them that. So when they are giving you this assignment, they look into your. So now when these people came in, they changed the price. While I picked for $40, they're picking for $18. So I contacted one of my guys, the one who my manager, my supervisor. She told me, you no longer get assignments because we assigned new 35 new vendors. and their price are really down. We cannot give you assignment when your price is higher than them. So what happened? I had to take off some vehicles from the queue. And then we started now even changing my pricing. And you change after 6 months. So we tried because I didn't have a plan. Otherwise, I was supposed to leave the business. After 6 months now, no, 7, among the 30 vendors who joined, because most of them I know them, now we have like 3 others dropped out. But after killing the business, but they dropped out. What they don't do here, especially African problem we have, when you see this gentleman doing the business of teaching people about CLA, instead of joining him and asking, can you give me a branch so that maybe I start from low, you in low, I go to Malbo, then we work together. No, everyone wants to start his own. And then they will be like challenging, competing with you, and they end up killing the what? The business. Something happened to truck. You remember truck lorry? We went in lorry, we were working with Amazon, I bought like 3, but I had even some women were like, I'm buying a lorry, who is gonna drive it? I don't know, but I'll get a driver. So everyone go into that business and they they kill the business. That was my first challenge. The second challenge, during COVID, Michael, I lost, I don't know whether I'm a soft time. Oh, good? Yeah. Okay. So I had a challenge. I lost my vehicle. They recalled my vehicle because I was not working, and my work authorization was bad. Then at that very time, Massachusetts had a system that when they give you work authorization for 1 month, for 1 year, they give you also the driving permit for 1 year. Yeah. So it took me like 2 years, no, 3, since I applied for renewing my work authorization. It just came in December last year. So the bank, the insurance, because I had a livery plate on the car, they canceled my insurance because my driver's license was not valid. Then the Toyota, they refused me to make a payment because I had to show them who is driving the car. Then I had to ask them, let me just bring back the car, and I get out of it, because every time if I don't pay, the price goes, penalties goes up. Then we agreed that they're gonna take a car. We agreed, they came and took the car, but I didn't know that they're gonna put it as a repo. Because we agreed that I cannot, because I don't have a what, but I end up getting a repo on my. Now, why I'm saying this, when you're making business here without a credit, you can suffer. Because every time, even in a bank, ask a quick loan, I'm taking now my challenge. I cannot even get a quick loan. I cannot even get just a small car, get a car or leasing cars to my business. Today I have 7 cars, but 4 of them are in garage because of engine. I need to replace engine. I've just got one which I replaced last week. So a lot of my money, the one I'm making is going repairing old vehicles because I cannot get the new car because I don't have a credit. So the challenge I'm facing. Thank you very much for inviting me. I came here to share my challenges with you and maybe to hear some challenges other people go through. Maybe at the end there will be a solution. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here with you all. So initially, my background is IT and computer science, with no business in my bone. But my dad and my mom have always been business people, so I guess it's in the bloodline. So how my business came up is it's a stationery business, and I would say mine is part of, I wouldn't say calling, or it's part of my calling, but it's an assignment. When I say assignment, it's this is something I birthed through prayer with my Heavenly Father. How this happened? This happened when I think I just given birth to my daughter, and that's when the Lord called me to into the business world. I have no background whatsoever in business, but He gave me the plan, the vision, wrote everything down, and what I'm dealing with is I'll say stationery, because I design and write books. These books, their purpose, because it's a faith-based brand, their purpose is to help people, families, refocus and get back to the foundations of Christ. Because I'm a believer, I'm a born again. So that's the purpose of this book. And there's also a little bit of organization and planning, because I realized that in this country, or I figured at the time when I given birth that and my target audience is more of women, because we carry so many hats. You know, you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a minister, you have a career going for yourself, and all this has to fit in your brain. And it's very easy to forget. So this is where we come in to produce every tool to help you plan efficiently and be organized. So that at the end of the day, we serve a God of excellence, we serve a God of order, and He doesn't dwell in chaos. So you got to show up as your best self by first taking care of your mental state. And the best way to do that is that's where we come in to get a book and write your visions, write your day to day, your to do, your we have the prayer journals, we have the daily gratitude journals, we have the budget planning books, we have the Bible studies journals. These the moms, because I know mothers are the ones who you're the neck, you know, you're the pillar to holding your family together. Mothers, we are the intercessors, we are the prayer warriors that hold our families together. So these books, they not only help you, but they introduce the children, even from a very tender age. Because right now, my son, right now, he's becoming 13 this year. But I've brought him up in the way of prayer. And these are things that I've used myself, I use in my house. So I'm very authentic with what I'm telling you guys, because it works for me and it's coming from a place of authenticity. It's coming from a place of vision. And there's a reason as to why God say, like, write the vision, write it down and make it plain. Before you start something, you have to write it down. So that's where we come in. Yeah, we have the Bible study journal, we have the prayer journal, and how this help you is we are faced with very many challenges in life, and before you begin complaining or before you begin asking God where you at, and when you're writing these books, not like for example a daily gratitude journal, it could be as little as I woke up today, I smelled some coffee today. So when something terrible does happen, your first instinct is not to go and blame the universe or God or like, why is this happening to me? But all these testimonies that you've been writing down foster a heart of gratitude, which gives you a positive attitude towards life, and you attack the day, you attack every situation with faith. And at the end of the day, if you're going to call upon God, God doesn't dwell in, when you're complaining and you're negative, but when you remind him of how good he's been, because it's very easy to forget that when you open these books and, you take a record of, I mean, the Bible does say, God, he also has a book of remembrance. So if God has a book of remembrance about you, what makes you think that you are a superwoman or superman to record everything in your brain? So you're writing this down, you refresh your memory, it helps you refocus, it helps you rebuild, it's part of self-care. It could be as little as today, I'm just going to, just be intentional. Don't just let the day drive you. Just be intentional. Like 5 minutes, I'm turning my phone off and, just get into me and shut the world out, whatever self-care is for you. So we fall in a diversity of mental health, because I've dealt with people who are going through mental health issues as well, that were turning to alcoholism. So I told him, like, you could, whatever it is that is driving you to alcoholism, write our journals, and try writing these things down and see how it will help. And the feedback I got is that it actually helped them a great deal. And it kind of helps you to like look deep down inside of yourself before you pay money to a therapist. Speak with yourself, ask yourself these questions: why you are where you are, where you want to go, where you see yourself, all in this book. So I think the only challenge that I met, I was told, like, because I'm Ugandan, so I was told that Ugandans are not so conversant with the planning and the journaling, and it's more of a Western thing. And I was like, well, that's okay. It's an international business. If Ugandans are not quite acquainted with it, then they'll just come along with it. But so far, so good. Those that are journalists, those it has worked for them. Those that are learning have gotten onto the journey. I still have other products like these other short chats, the meal planners, basically all oriented. I feel like the men are drawn more to the budgeting books. So the company is Cherry's Mom. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Vivienne. I'm the author of this book. It's called Endless Quest, Where Is My Dad At? And I'm so honored to be here. I'm just new to the entrepreneur world, I should say. So I have a background of business statistics. I grew up with my mom doing business. So I'm familiar with business in this category of like, selling stuff, products in a shop, but as an adult, I've not really done any business. So my book is about growing up with an absent dad. It's a book that unpacks the complexities in single parenting. So God gave me an assignment. I'm going to borrow Milner's word. Yeah, this is something God spoke to me to share this story because I realized it is such a prevalent situation today. A lot of people are becoming single parents. Like it's crazy. So I'm sharing this story to let mothers know. I'm sharing this story to let fathers know that their children need them in their lives. I know in our culture, we are about the basic needs. We don't really take time to engage with our children. So as you read my story, as you read other people's stories, you're going to learn that there is more than, making food available, paying tuition, doing the basics. That they are stronger and there are adverse effects if we do not provide for the psychological and emotional needs of children. So it's still new. I just, published it in February. And if you haven't gotten a copy, you want to get a copy. It's also a book where I share the effects of fatherlessness and which things some of us still struggle with as adults because, just growing up does not cure fatherlessness. One great man of God says. And so in here, I also share about relationships. A lot of us are caught up in these spaces that are toxic because we do not know how to identify such behavior. So through my own experiences, through research, through a lot of reference, I have honorable men that I've, learned from. I also talk about God as a father, because at the end of the day, as human beings, we can only do so much, but we can't do everything. So in here, I talk about the ultimate father, who is God, who is a father to the fatherless. So regardless of what your status, your situation, your age, there is one that can heal your heart because he has healed my heart. So it's an honor to be here. It's a conversation I want to have in any community, regardless of what you believe. So feel free. I want to make the sales, but I also want to see change in our community. So let us embrace the book. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, it's not available on Amazon. I believe in you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let me choose that. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Kiza Segrinya, and I'm also the author of this book, Nurturing Inner Love. So, pretty much, this book is about you. I wrote it like any person who's, I could say, lifestyle awareness or consciousness. This book, it encompasses whatever she talked about, and also whatever she talked about. So this one goes a little bit deeper to understand really the intricacies of your being and existence. Because without knowing our existence, most of the time we go astray. And to be realistic, we all, as a result of love.
So pretty much, I understand most of you believe in God, but the truth is, none of us, to be realistic, has ever seen God. But what we have seen or we have experienced love. So when you understand love, pretty much you're going to understand God. And when you understand God, you're going to understand more of yourself. So this is what a book is. So why did I write a book? I have so much in common with my sister because I did computer science. And when you go deep into computer science and what is going on with AI, most people, they're just understanding about AI. I studied AI in 2010, you know. So when you envision where the world is going as far as AI, humanity is in trouble to an extent that these machines, they might decide at one point to get away with humanity, you know, or to kill. Because what would we say God or existence or consciousness, it is all intelligence. And to be sincere, that's where existence starts. So when these machines, because they're now trying to develop machines which are super intelligent. So when they develop machines which are super intelligent, there is a possibility they're gonna be aligned with man's intuition or their ability to decide what they want. So at that point, if machines at one point they got to know, they get an awareness. They got to know that they are better than humanity, this is the way you're gonna send them. Or if they decide to also execute their own goals, you know, they're like, let me say, for example, matter of fact, I read a book, it is called Human Compatible Artificial Intelligence and Problem of Control. You know, matter of fact, that's why I got an inspiration to write this book. So when you go, one of the example, the author say, for example, you can send a machine to buy a soda. You know, at one point, you see they're designing those robots. You know, at one time, people are gonna program them to do what they want, like personal assistant. So you send it to buy you water. So if it finds any problem on the way, you know, since that's the goal, let me say it finds people fighting, it's gonna walk by, not gonna care. But as humanity, we know that fighting is bad. It's not part of our values. So as humanity, you might decide to do something, you know, maybe see how these people they can agree or see how they can talk, you know. So as humanity, you can do that. But as a machine, it might walk by, you know, and bring back whatever it sent it. You know, but now imagine when it becomes aware and it goes, you send it so a soda, along the way, it finds people fighting. Then it can, you know, try to see how, you know, these people, they can stop fighting or whatever. And on getting back, it expressed you. When I was coming, I found people fighting and maybe I forgot a soda or whatever. So you might lose control or become emotional. The machine is so now since it is now aware, it might decide to protect itself, then it fights you back. And the advantage about machines, well, then they are connected. We as humans, we are connected. You know, we are connected by consciousness. But how many knows about that? How many knows goes give to understand that it is connection which has now gathered us together here? You know, every person here has his own intricate something connection, maybe to Kapalaga, whatever. But to be realistic, it is some kind of, when you go deep, there is some self-interest, whoever is here. So how do you bring now that self-interest with the connection? Now that's where they talk about empathy, you know, to empathize with the people you meet on, you know. So if machines now get to that level, that's when they can kill or decide to say that, oh, we are more intelligent than these people who tend to think that they are more intelligent than us. So it's quite deep. So when you go now to love, since now these machines, we develop them and they learn from us, the only thing which can bring that harmony is love. And you've seen it, harmony. We are here because of harmony. So when you go deep to understand more, so you at a personal level, you know, and you bring that empathy. Yes, most of us here, when you go deep from when you saw Kapalaga's prior, there is something I've just talked about, self-interest. Whoever is here not because of this. There is that self-interest. But now, how do you bring your self-interest in terms of empathy? That even might be here, you're thinking about other stuff, you're like, oh, this is what I thought, but I think I'm not supposed to be here, or I don't think so, you know, but you're still here. However much you've not seen yourself interest. So that is what love is. So love helps us to connect at that level. So if machines now try to learn from us and they see that, oh, these are the values and beliefs people believe in, then there's no why to do them or to harm them, because that's what also our values are. This is some of the information in this book. So as I say, the book goes a little bit deeper. You know, you get a content, then this one goes a little bit deeper to understand not any other person, but you, whoever is here. Thank you.
So welcome. We are introducing each other, talking about what you do, trying to understand the challenges and the strength that you have in your entrepreneurship journey. She didn't say. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please take the floor. Come. If you could come here so the comments can see.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Sanya Janet, and I'm a home health aide, stroke caregiver, stroke CNA. Yeah.
Okay. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you looking at becoming one? Have you ever been one?
Yes, I've been one in Uganda before.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you looking at becoming one here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what brings you here
Yeah.
to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to have Isaac and Lydia chat. And I will have this Eddie here. is a master of healthcare. I'm also going to give you a few minutes, Eddie, to talk about healthcare so she can get to learn. But you said you didn't share the challenges, so you have 1.5 minutes.
Do I have to go?
Yeah, camera has to see.
Hi again. So my challenges in this business so far is, trying to grow the connection, the networks. So that's a very big challenge. And also things like, oh, we Africans don't trade. Like, this is a very, very important message. And as somebody who knows the value, sometimes it kind of comes, to you and you're like, oh my God, am I, but I am appreciative of all those that, have embraced the book. And just to encourage us that, it's more than just a support. Oh, it's given a minute, but I wanted to share something that sometimes we do not need money. Sometimes, we can collect money for somebody, but all they need is the knowledge. These books that I do share that, different for doing different things. This book can change the trajectory of your family and your saving generation. So I would like us to embrace knowledge, even as we are here learning from each other. I feel like that limitation of like, oh my God, someone told me I only want financial knowledge. But you can make as much money. You can make as much money when your family is falling apart. So I feel like it's all around and we should embrace it. So that's my challenge. Oh, we don't trade. Yeah.
But the question here, I'm saying, yeah, question. Have you ever thought about showing audio book? Because I don't trade. Yes, I don't trade, but but I never.
Yeah.
So, have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I'm working on it. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll first have Eddie come and this lady here is, I don't know that she's part of your company, but she's CMA. But Eddie here is my hobby. He was in, we were very young and we saw them.
She's not sure if no. You're making him stand there talk about home care, right?
Yeah.
Is this interested in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, of course, no problem. He's just talking about what he does. So we all learn, not you specifically. We are all, Eddie, I was talking about Eddie. Eddie here, we have our differences between me and him. He knows, but he's a good friend that I met in school when he was, I think, in senior. Yeah. And you were not yet born, maybe, but you sang with my father. So, but he's doing good. He has one of the biggest Ugandan companies in the community. So, Eddie, if you can just share in probably 3 minutes about what you do, how are you doing it, and how have you been able to grow to that market?
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, you didn't tell me that I'm gonna come. You told me to come and attend the business conference and help from extra. I'm telling you.
And you are fine.
But thank you for the opportunity. Well, just to put something right. It wasn't young, it was just yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, just about my experience, the entrepreneurship journey is quite challenging. Yes, all people in this room have businesses. Not all, but you want to start businesses. Okay, but sure, but how many have business? Okay. And how many wants to start business? So those who have business, for sure, you have a business card here? You have a business card here? All right. So, if you have a business card with you, please share it with your neighbor. So these are the challenges that she was talking about, building connections and working with different people. But one thing we have to understand in life as entrepreneurs, that these things, we have our money, we have our ideas, and how. So when it comes to such conflict, I want to work with somebody else, I used to like you and completely plan how to do it. But finally, when I told you, when you want something, you go out and get it. But how do you get it? Just pick up. One thing you should not forget is because it's that business card, when you meet somebody, you tell that person, oh, I'm so and so and I'm doing. That person may not be interested in you that time. But when you give that business card, maybe somebody else talks about, oh, I'm interested in doing this. And oh, I met some guy in a conference and he was doing this. And he gave me his business card. To pass on that business card. And that's how we grow connections and how we grow our business. So let's have the business card with us and let's share the people we met. If in the taxi, you want to put me, actually I have a client in Boston. I was going to, I met that person in the office, in the manufacturer. Then I get the card, I go, CEO, doing home care. I said, yes. So all of a sudden he called me, the people, I like show, it's called business show or something. I went there, I wow, how much people in this country? And the what I'm telling you, because I charge you according to your clearance. So, but if I do talk to that person, my side, and then share my business card, would I have him by now? And I've been him out, I think I'm gonna make it with him. So, business, before you think about anything, make a business card. Have me, when I was starting my entrepreneurship journey here, I thought of something because me back home I'm a dentist, and I've been self-employed all my life. When I was back home, nobody employed. Actually, my first employment was under this. So what can I do? Say, oh, you go up to shifts, one time to time, then I started doing it. So back home after my school, I started my clinic, then I did my cleaning company. I had so many contacts with government, private, but I was also doing the professional work, the dentist. I had a restaurant, then so when I came here, I came to, most of us, as I kind of always say, you travel all those miles, come here, and then you remain the ordinary person, not just work that. When you come here to this country, you must be extra ordinary. So you have to work hard to be different. So I worked 24 hours. I used to sleep in the car, but when I was living back home, all the rich people in this world, they were coming That's how they make money. So I work 24 hours, sleep in the car, you go to work, you leave from where shift to go to another shift. If you want to eat, you pass the market basket, you buy the ticket, and with your knife in the car, then you go to that. That's all. But we never check that one. Because I didn't get the same check. Moves here. So I thought of something I can do so I can get more money for my own income. The only thing I could do by that time was the cleaning business. So when I started the cleaning business, I just got a name for the company, and then I was like, okay, now I've got the name for the company. By that time, the name was called Hands On. So I went to Badminton Mall, black t-shirts, I branded them, Hands On. I went to my apartment where I sleep. I took photos, I took videos. Before that, I went to Boston, buy some machine, 700, 300, those big machines. Then I started doing those videos and the photos in my apartment where I was living with my wife, Vivian. Not you, but my wife. Yes. So when I took those photos and videos, I would look at them, giving up now. That Facebook page, I put that page only $60. $50. This is to people who want to start business. Well, like how do we start business? How do we do collection? I put that Facebook page with $50. But up to now, the people I got and I worked for cleaning, usually still call us for cleaning. People called us so many phone, they gave us so many phone calls. We started working, we could go to clean a house for $300. 300 each house. We started going with my wife with one house, then 2 houses. Then when she got, because I had experience, then she got more experience. But one thing I liked with my wife, she was committed to what I was doing. I would tell her, start with the kitchen, bathroom, then I can do this. So when we come together, like 3 hours, we are done. We make $600 a day. But that 600, I can wait for that for a week. Yeah, in home care. A week. But this one, I'm getting it a day. So it was so hard. It's like the work is hard. Because you should know what you want to do and what you want to do. After getting the experience, okay, we can do 4 houses. So then when they call us, they say, oh, no, we have this, we can put you on another state. We can put you next week, the other month. Because people are out there, they need the services. But how do you reach out to them? The way she was saying, with the connections, people don't want to. The problem we think when we start business, we are looking at community here. We are looking at our community. But think you want that's some part of the country, the public on your life. Don't do business for your community. Because in every entrepreneurship journey, even your dad, mom, or brother or father, or brother or sister, they will say, what that you doing? Each of your answers, because they don't know your dream. You know what I mean? But you follow your dream. Go ahead and do what is your passion because you know what you want to do. So when we started doing that cleaning business, we never knew that we need a license, we need insurance and everything. They told us, oh, you guys, when some commercial building called us to do it. Oh, do you have insurance? You guys really get that? We never had anything. For us, we just got the name and the thing based on the Facebook and started playing. So when the commercial building called us asked for those things, we had the money to pay for insurance, to pay for everything they were asking for. So for the members who are here and want to start business, don't be that this is what I need to start. You can start anywhere. Anyway, and when you start with the business, don't start the business for your community. As I've told you, even your family members, they'll never support. But you don't have a dream. Then, for people who have business, they must have a target. What's your target audience? How many now customers are you looking for? I'm happy from Mr. Jemba. Like me, my goal today is to get 1 million American. Only one. And I'm getting $1 on a daily. So when you mentioned it, I'm oh, some people share. And it is possible. Very possible. Just look at these people who started this man who started Uber. You know how many people is servicing? So don't start a business for your community. Start a business and you go to serve the world. You can do it. You can do it. The other thing, when you're in the business world, for my sister who wants to start a country with CNA, home care. Right now, Massachusetts is one of the states that when you have to start a home care company, you don't need a license. But in 2027, 2027, they're going to introduce that. Because we have a home care company, have a home care association alliance where we meet. They are trying to advocate for it. That start now, because when they start, they will close you out. And the reason they are not doing home care companies, but then also, as I say, so many people are joining without experience, they are building the industry, they are building work clients, you know, what have somebody said, like, you know, so they are building the industry. That's why they want to put regulation. So in so doing that, like we want to do it, you have a collaboration. How do you cooperate? The problem, some of us, we want to eat our own most food than sharing and help. You know what I mean? So you want to have that thing for your own, you alone. This is my company. And your company will get it, yes. Like your net profit, let me say a year could be 40,000. That's the net. But just imagine that Pakistan and now they collaborated. Right? You know how much network I had? You know how much network she has? You know how much network she has? Because my big good right? And after that, Google and everything can be good, right? Can be good, maybe policy research. You know what you can come out with? So embrace the collaboration if you want to really make a difference and good. Other than have like 3 authors, have different books, but you market, you have the same market. So now that I don't have the money to buy all the 3 books. If it was one book, because if you have book is $20, just imagine for one book and $30. Then I buy one, then everybody here buys one book. You guys are gonna go share the elephant. Then now I'm gonna buy a book. And you know what I mean? So you got to have it. And then have the big dream. And whatever we are doing for the people of business here, we should plan for that HC. Because every business here is not there to stay for a long time. Because you might be doing your business right now, but which security do you have that's gonna stay for the next 5 years? Some of our businesses we start, they die before they are first brand. But how do you work on your business to make sure it doesn't die when you first brand? So when you're starting a business and you're doing well, don't take that one before. Me, when I started cleaner, went to home care, because every challenge takes you to another level. I started a cleaner, home care. So when I was doing home care and staffing, after COVID lacked staff, I started doing it cool. I'm like, oh, people want to do nursing, but why don't you? Why you started that? Really cool. I did this for that. Doing it for me. I was doing home care and looking for hours from nursing home, hours from home care. I realized that when I was doing my research, most of the assisted living you see, the nursing homes you see, they're not owned by one person. You can read about them. Read about them. There are about 5 people who own those things. 6 people. But if you only want to work an individual, you cannot achieve those things. So what I realized, you know, one guy made me 3 years ago. Wanted help to start home care. When I was talking to him, I told him I'm looking for 10 people who I want to start. And I still doing to start something as a group. Now, 2 years down the road, I'm sure in 2027, I identify those people and they shall have something like an assisted living in this country. Wow. Yes. Because I'm like, I'm looking for hours, I go to the nursing, like the senior living, then about the fire will look at me. So like we go to those people and tell them, oh, we're looking for elder person here, we do home care. But your question should be like, Jim, your question should be, how are these people getting this from the places? And then they start getting power. Then they will start going to them and do it yourself. Your dream should not be, I need to buy a car, and stuff. How do I make that car? That should always be your dream. I don't mean the car in particular, but because you may not have to do it, but anything you see and your mind as well. Your question should be not how to get it, but how to do it. Question. Last thing for people who want to begin or do businesses is the fear. Some of us fear to start. You think you're waiting for better conditions because when you want to start, maybe like the way I said, the licensing comes. So when you hear that, oh, I'm gonna bring the license, I'm not gonna start that. Huh? So fear is something natural that is within us. But you have to know, you have to embrace it because fear was put there that would say by God that you have to feel that, you have to let free, but then you have to go back. They say any animal that gets fear and just back and that is not able to move forward cannot get anything. They cannot get any prey, like some food, something to eat. So when you fear, you got to get stronger again and go out and do it. So stop the fear, start. Get something and start. And don't wait for better conditions to start. Just imagine if Vivian waited to get people who are gonna buy a book to first get that feeling to start. But now she not be here. But maybe she starts in her room and we start. When we start, and even if I get 2 copies, even if I get 3 copies, that will be enough. So that so many people have a very many ideas. They never put them into paper. And if you really don't put those things into paper, you never realize your God. You never. Then if when you're doing business, there's what we call, you should, like in your business, you should move with the feedback. Like you guys are in finance, finance education. But then, are you able to listen to the communities, what they are saying about your finance education? Do you think, because you should always keep changing your appearance. If your finance education is basically life insurance, then you should, if you see they are not embracing life insurance, you should teach them how they save, how to save their money, how they can grow the savings and they grow wealth. Because every time you come to me, you tell me, oh, you need life insurance, how am I going to die tomorrow? It's like you're putting people in two finger. You know what I mean? But then if you see the community is not embracing the life insurance, then talk about something different. Embrace the saving culture, embrace the investment. Because when you kind of come to me, until you told me one word that changed my thinking. You told me if you come and save the money, that's like 25 insurance. People will be struggling in Uganda with the housing, with the tenants, and the work to pay them. They will be earning their own money. I'm like, oh, so now there's also that struggle. Or then got a lot of money, but I'm gonna save later after a few years, I'll be earning. Only that, change my money. But if I become for life insurance, I don't think I would join his campaign. But people told me that, so that's why. Yeah, so yes, thank you. So he was able to educate me and I was able to be. But I think I'm one of your
Good class.
very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unless somebody has a question, I'll be able.
Thank you very much. You have a question?
I just wanted
Okay.
oh. Thank you. He talked about sometimes we think that it is a delay a lot of that. No, you just need to be. Sometimes even if you have money, you may not succeed. But if you don't determine, I'm gonna give an example. When I started, when I was looking for a contract, I told you my work was bad. I had no job. No one was giving a job. So, meaning I had no any income. So what I did, I went to New York, and they told me in the New York system, they can give you a driver's license even if you work on possession. So I got a friend, I went to New York, I got a driver's license. I came back here, I started driving Uber again. But I was trying my best to get a contract for money. Well, I was lucky I got a contract. But starting, I had to have like maybe 60,000 on the table. Do you know how much I had? 500. Yes, 500. $500. Then There's a friend of mine. I called a friend of mine. He was selling cars. I told him, Louis, I don't know whether you know him. I need 2 cars. I'm not buying it, I'm renting it. I will be giving you $200 a week. But those cars must be in my company name. So we wrote an agreement, because getting that contract, you need 2 cars. Then I went to one of my friends to borrow $2,000 to get insurance, because river insurance is very expensive. I'm paying $800 per car month. River, it's a commercial insurance, but it's very expensive. Then, after getting those 2 cars, I registered the car. Before you complete the contract, you need to have those plates, and the inspector has to come and inspect those cars. So I got those cars. Then every evening I had to go and drive Uber. After getting those 2 cars, I had to look for a driver. And the challenge was like, when you get that contract, you need to work for 60 days without getting any pay. They pay you after 60 days. They start paying, and when they start paying, they pay in first 2 weeks. Then I employed one driver. Now I have 2 cars. Instead of spending, let's say 15,000 buying a car, so 30,000 now. I've invested 30,000 now. You see? Then after getting a driver on board, getting a contract, there are some other requirements, but I was like, they need 200. I go today, I drive Uber, I get the 200. I drive overnight. I get a 300. I pay them tomorrow. You know, I continue to do like that. Then when I put a driver on the on the queue, then I started driving in the morning, that driver. In the evening, I go and drive Uber. I get gas for tomorrow, and save some money to pay the driver at the end of the week. Yeah? And I sleep in my car then, because I know now I will not manage other bills, you know. But after 2 months, I started getting paid. But if I remember sitting down and calculate how much money I invested in 2 months. It was 68,000. But I didn't know where I got that money from. You get it? If you want to start business, don't think about where you're going to get money from. Like what he said, share with friends. There are some people have money, but they don't know where to invest it. The only one problem, trust them. They may not trust you. Whoever gonna tell you your business, have to talk with someone and someone advice, and they end up like they even your husband or your brother will not support you. Right? But I'm telling you, you put faith in it and pray for it. It doesn't work. And if you do, even cleaning, as long as you decide that this is what I want and I will do it. Doesn't mean that you're gonna get it tomorrow. Start today, even if you're gonna get it in 3 years, but make sure you pay it. Yes, we are here in America. Kind of everything. Why are we still depending on others? One guy asked me a question, said, Jemba, just tell me one path the one you know, I reach any rich person who get a paycheck. They have a good life. You can have a good life when getting a paycheck, but you cannot be one of the rich people. And failing doesn't mean that you can't go because you fail. And there's no business will work without challenge. Whatever you do, must know that you're gonna face challenges. The first challenge, your people, the people you live with. The second, people, the one you tell about your business. Some people, you tell them about you're gonna write a book today, they start writing the same story before even you start. So never lose your track. If you feel like you want to do something, do it. If you feel like you don't fail. Even today, I'm still thinking of bringing coffee. I don't know when, but I will do it. Because it is my dream in my business was not transport. I'm in transport because I need to survive today so that I get where I'm going. The only other challenge we have is I've been before I settled in Massachusetts, I was the 5 years I've been outside Uganda. I never had a meeting or have a business, whatever, with the black people, with Ugandans that have been dealing with white people. Only in Massachusetts where I started dealing with my girlfriend. But these people, I'm telling you, they have a small community where you see them sitting on the balcony, do their stuff. You think that they are not working, they do work. How? They have their community where they gather their money and they look into your concept, whatever you bring, and then they say, oh, we can let's say something. They're the only people borrowing money. American bankers, they don't have money. They don't borrow money. There are some people who make money through this program and give bank. When you go to DCU, there's no money. They don't have money. They have loaners, people who bring in money. For them, they just manage the money. And those people who have money, they have community, like if you like, we make our money and say, this is Mr. Falaga, I'm thinking about, I don't know whether it can work. Like having people, making our money and then bring them in one basket here. And let's say Kapag is organized because you bring us together and then look for projects. I have my money, I don't know where to invest them, but he knows. Maybe if I give it to him, he can start something and I get my profit without even doing anything. But I don't know, African, we still have that thing of eating my own mosquitoes and sharing an elephant with my friends. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I hope we are having a great time. Mama, can you look up on whatever you have? Because I only have a few minutes. We were supposed to start at 4. We started approximately 5, and we are supposed to end at 7. We were supposed to end at 7. I want either to come here and tell us about yourself, and then we shall have Lillian and Sissy, and then we shall have Ryan and me.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is fine. My name is Isaac. I'm Ugandan.
And I've been in this country for 1 year. Yeah. What? Yeah, I've been here very long, 1 year. Yeah, because many people cannot live here for even a year. I know many people who have come here and decided, you know what, this is not what I want. Let me go back home, you know, because Progi is tight here. Back in my country, you do not pay these kind of bills that we have here. The person builds their house and they own it 100%. You can live off the grid. You don't have to pay for water bills because you have a well. You don't have to pay for power bills because you have solar. You don't have to pay for storage because you have a biodigester. So you pay for everything and you are off the grid 100%. But here, you pay for everything, bills until you die. That even when you die, there is fee you pay. Just take a Good. So when I came here, I'm glad I realized the financial industry, that it is a business that you can venture into, and the customer base is very, very available. All of us here, if you do not live on 100% of your paycheck, if you cannot live on 100% of your one paycheck, guess what? Trust me, you may say to them, no, I'm okay. Also, all this big sweet word, you are struggling. Reason why people get 1, 2, 3 jobs, and even on those 1, 2, 3 jobs, ask for overtime. It's simple because the bills overrun your income. And without paying the bills, you can't live here. But you come to this country to pay bills. Like Michael always says, 18,000 kilometers. I mean miles from Uganda to come here. 18,000. Yeah. So how would you tell me you left or flew that whole distance to come here to only pay bills? You know? It's crazy you cannot be here to only pay bills. And people are struggling because of one element that is missing in the community. Guess what it is? Information. Simple. Information. There is enough to live off. The customer base is so big, and there is enough. But, like he was saying, the fear. When you ask people to come and join this business, and you tell them, hey, you're not going to get a paycheck tomorrow. You have to work your way through. You need to make people understand. He was saying, Michael was telling him, come and buy life insurance. Oh, what life insurance? And so many people, because of the information gap, have been misinformed, either from family, social media, and people who don't know what they are telling them, but they overheard. Say, life insurance, you only get paid when you die. Someone says, so why do I save or contribute my whole life and all the money is going to be eaten by people who never saw my sweat? I don't care about my family. People may say. And then he realized, no, it is a matter of education. Some people don't understand there is cash value in life insurance. And that is the reason, because of the right information, he decided, because he realized it's going to be my bank. I'm going to save and at the same time invest. Some people save money, and when the basket is full, they start looking for where to invest it. Meanwhile, this is a one product where you only save and the investment is done for you, period. You don't have to even look there. They only tell you the percentages and then you get the report. And when the money is in the basket, you can pull out. You know? So I realized, being a teacher by profession, said
this is what I want to do, because I want to be a fisher of men. I want to save. And when I came to the business, I said, I've been looking for this kind of business. And they told me, we have a challenge, by the way. Simple challenge. Looks simple, but very, very hard. To educate 30 million families by 2030. And I told Michael, listen, this is a very big number. We can't. I mean, but how many million people does the US have? About 350 million. And then we're saying we want to educate 30 million families. Now, each one of us here comes from a family, right? Now, once anyone here gets educated financially, we literally have opened the door to that family. You need one person to be the ambassador. And that one person, if they get the right information, are going to call you to the table of their family, and they're going to educate more people. But are you forthcoming? We have a problem. Procrastination. I'm thinking about it. Give me 2 months. You see where I work, they give me insurance. No, I'm just looking at investment. Or I'm doing stocks. Right now, people are trying to look for every means to commit murder right now, because the market has plunged simply because of politics. Right now, whoever had all their hopes in the stock market are now crying, oh my God, what am I doing? Meanwhile, the guys that decided this is the right product for me are relaxed. So, information. So many people don't have goals. When I came to this business, I thought I had goals, but I think I had wants. They were not really goals. So when you do business with other people, you start to learn things that you didn't know. Meanwhile, if you decide you're going to sit by yourself, chances are you're only going to deal with only what you know. Chances are you will think you're the best in what you're doing because anyway, you're the best at what you know. Only what you know or what you think. Go out there and see what people think. Go out there and see what people think. And then you realize, oh, I thought this was a challenge and I had no solution for it. And people already have a solution for it. Reason is you went out to other people and you realize this can be solved. You know? The fear, like Philly said, the fear that, oh, how much money do I need to invest to start that business? That is not the problem. How much money you have to invest to start the business is not the problem. The problem is the decision to want to start the business. That is the problem. Where there is a will, there is a way. He was sleeping in the car, running Uber, pays someone who doesn't even care where the money comes from. All he knows is he has a job and you have to pay him. If you don't pay him, he quits. For you, you make sure you do everything it takes to make sure he has his paycheck. Your goal is bigger. He was looking for people that would partner with him. Literally, he was looking for business partners to buy shares into his idea so that they have enough money to begin an assisted living. Now, this is what we do if we have all these audiences and these platforms. If we keep burning this, if we keep sitting in places like this and brainstorming on issues and ideas that are going to take us to another level, I like your analogy, wanting to eat your little mosquito and not sharing the big elephant. The big elephant is in shares, in coming together. One time I got the chance to talk to one of the investors in Microsoft, and he told me, incidentally, this old man is about 72 years. He said he owns about 21% of Microsoft, and he never went to anything. Never. He was born to a drunkard family, mother and father, and at age 5, he opened his first bank account. At age 5, after asking about how do I keep my money, because every single penny I get and keep with my mom, because when you're a baby, your mom is your bank. And so he used to run around and get every penny he gets, run to the bank, his mom. And then because the mom was a drunk, after 2 months, he comes and asks, Mommy, I need to see that money. How much do I have in the bank? And Mommy already had take the money on boost. So he would go back to square one. By the time the year was closing, he said, no, it is not going to work. So he goes to the store next door and asks that old man, how would you keep your money? As a young boy of 5 years, how would you keep your money? Man was wondering, how does this guy want to keep money? Where does he even get the money? But he then told him, I keep my money. Every time I go and clean up, deliver newspapers, my mom uses the money for booze. So this old man realizes this boy needs help. He says, come, let's go. He goes across the door, at the road, there is a bank. Tells them, I'm going to be his guardian. Open the bank account in his name, but I'm signing as the guardian. And he told him, every time you make any money, come to this bank and talk to that lady there. Tell her you want to bank. She will feel everything for you. And he says, when they were starting Microsoft, from the village, his friend, the owner of Microsoft was his friend. So he asked him, do you have some money to invest? It's a very long shot, very, very long shot to invest in something that you have even never had any dream about. But his idea or his goal was to be rich. He said, I'll invest whatever I have in my bank. For this money, bought his share and kept quiet. I assume the stock market value has tripled or quadrupled over the time that he put his money. Now, he doesn't have to ever work again. He spends the whole year going around the world doing what rich people do until it doesn't work anymore. And he told me, you know what, Isaac? I already made the money. Problem is spending it. His goal was set before. So he didn't have any fear of investing his money. Now, when you don't have money, what do you invest?
Idea.
Yes, you invest time in self-education and getting ideas. Because if you do not have money, you also don't have the time than what you have. Everyone has a brain. So you need to invest time in self-education with the goal that you want to achieve, unless you have no goal. And when you come here, we teach people or train people on how to identify goals. Because trust me, when we went to school in Africa, all they taught us is go to a good school, or even if you're not going to the best. My son, my daughter, try as much as possible to get the best grades. Because when you get grades, you go to another very good school. And when you go to another very good school, go to university and get a very good course. And when you get that very good course, you're going to come out with flying colors and you're going to be employed with a very good company. And you get a very good job and good money. and you get a good husband. You get a good husband or wife, buy a very good house or car, and you live happily ever. Is that what is happening? But remember, when you're small, they tell you, money is the evil. It is the mother of all problems. Don't talk about money. Only to get old and come out of university and you realize everything is about money. Families are falling apart because of financial what? Problems. Either the money is much or is not there. Some people are breaking apart because of too much money and they don't care about each other because after all, I have money. Others are breaking apart because there is no money. You can't meet your family obligations. But you believe that that is the cause. And that's what they say, money, money, money. I can tell you what the problem is. The cause is lack of financial literacy. Because once you understand how money works, it will not be a problem anymore. The problem is people don't understand how money works. The more you get, the more you spend. When it's all spent, you have nothing. People think that success is bliss. It is not. Failure is not bliss either. You may be successful today, but there's a lot of issues that may bring you down, and may be down today, and a lot of issues that may help you come up. So success and failure are all not bliss. They are just conditions. What are the ingredients? It's what is very important. If you know the formula for doing something right, you will always have the right outcome. But if you know the formula for doing something wrong, science dictates, if you do something 3 times and you get the same result, it is scientifically proven, but is it the right thing? You may be doing the wrong thing 3 times, and it is now proven that you can do it, but it is the wrong thing. That's why they say, practice makes perfect, but I tell you, it's wrong. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you're practicing the wrong thing, you're going to have the wrong result the whole time. If you're practicing the right thing, you're going to have the right result the whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, when you come here, it is open for you anytime, anywhere, and I'm challenging you as ambassador today when you leave this place. This is a financial center for this community. But we have clients, large and above. We have clients in Canada, and we also want teammates. You may be doing that home care, but with your experience, because I always find there is a very big connection between home care and financial literacy. Because the people that are giving you jobs, have that money coming from saved investment, saved money that is very old, they call it old money. And that is why they can keep paying someone to take care of them. Now the challenge is, in our community today, and the generation that we are, do we have what it takes to be able, when we turn 60, 70, to also employ someone to come to our homes and take care of us? When we well know that that is my kitchen, that is my bathroom, but I cannot go there. You know where your bathroom is and your kitchen is, and you're in the bedroom, but you cannot get up to go there. You need someone to take you there. That is why we teach people the literacy to understand that that time is going to come and you have to plan for it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm only going to have and Shamin just say hi. And then we are going to stand up for 5 minutes. Then we come back. When we come back, we shall have Lillian show us our business model, and Ryan, and lastly, I will also share my insights, and then we shall go for dinner. So, Sister Shamin, yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shamim Namubero. I'm a financial educator. Thank you for all coming.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited today. I've seen my long friend when I was just new here in America. And guess what? We have been friends on Facebook, but I never contacted her. I'm so sorry, my dear. My name is Sisi Narvega Chiwanka. I'm also a financial educator. And then I'm here today to talk about only one thing, which all of us maybe sometimes we skip it, about that debt management. When we come here, there's a lot of debts that accumulate over the time. You can say like when we are back home, we don't think about getting a car with the loans, and then by the time you keep on here, being here for a long time, debts coming like accumulating over the time. So here in the campaigns we do, we also teach people how to manage it. We shall talk about that later, since my wanted me to have here honestly hi. I'm so happy to see you today.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's stretch for just 5 minutes and then come back and for the last 3 seconds. Okay. Yes, you can just stand up, share the one. You know that I know. Yeah, right. That's why I said,
Wow.
All right. Thank you, thank you. We are now back to our final minutes. We can all have our seat back, please.
Yeah.
Let's have our seat.
I'm not going to you for like 5 minutes. Can I call you then?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have Lillian go through what we call a business model. So most of the time when you don't know, we are back. So most of the time when we are probably, when we are looking at how to market our businesses, we don't know how. Or when we are looking at hiring, we don't know how. So Lillian is going to show you our business model. Maybe you can copy that business model into, you have it into your businesses. Maybe you join Lillian in her business model so she can also work with you. So in the next very few minutes, so you're going to be fast.
Yes, thank you very much. My coach, Michael Kakande, aka Kapalaga Baby. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are we having fun so far? Who is hungry like I am? All right. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet.
You see that?
If you're happy and you know it, say I am. All right. So looks like everybody's really happy tonight. Anyway, I have like 10 minutes. My name is Lillian Quickly, and I am one of the marketing directors here at Burlington Community Financial Center. And honestly, just like all of you here, I'm made in Uganda. Yeah, in most of us are made in Uganda. Yes, I'm made in Uganda. And just like all of us here, we came to America, not just to visit, right? But we came because we were in pursuit of something. I myself, I came to the American dream, but honestly, when I landed, like somebody said, they were a doctor in Uganda and they had never been employed, right? But when they came to America, what happened? They were employed, right? So all of us have a story. So this is my story. So when I came into this country, I didn't know where to get started. But when you land here, everyone's going to tell you, Ugandans do healthcare, right? And that's where I also went. But before I came here, my mother had told me, that actually, what many, most of the country, like Lillian, you see that big building?
you leave America, actually to you, eh? You still have a big plan. I still only that, so when I came with that at the back of my mind that I'm going to America, and I'm going to own a big building. So when I landed here, ladies and gentlemen, things were different. I came into home care and then I was working 7 days a week. I would say I didn't even have an off. And every money I made, because Mama had told me really, and remember those buildings, so every penny I made, send away. Why? Because I wanted to also own one of the buildings. For long, I worked. So, and then until my sister actually told me about this campaign. That was through Michael. So Michael sent me that, and the first question he asked me, Lillian, he asked me, when do you want to retire? I'm like, what do you mean when do you want to retire? I was looking at myself like I'm very young and I was never going to retire, I'm like, Michael, what do you mean when do you want to retire? He's like, then where are you working? So that question really hit me hard. Now it made me realize that anyone, when you are live, when you are living, can you have a goal? Don't just work for like I was. So from that question, now I ask myself, how do I align myself? So then I was working, and then when I sent back home, now the first question came to me. He asked me, why do you work? I said for my son. He said, okay, what plans do you have for him now that you're working with him? I said, oh, I have so many things in Uganda. He said, okay, very interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, long story short, my time is running up. We have our children here, they are Americans. Why would we be building for them big, very big buildings back home? Like honestly. The other question he asked me, Lillian, today when you're working and anything happens to you, let's say when you fall sick, who is going to stay with your son? The things were really hitting me hard because I was working just for my son. But now when I came to this campaign, I now started to put my life in order. I now said, okay, now that he asked me when I want to retire, I now realize I actually have to retire. Now I started planning, how do I retire? And then also, he mentioned when I get sick, if anything happens to me, what happens to my son? So everybody has to have an emergency fund anyways. But when I came to this campaign, I learned that when you want to be someone, you have to build your future with planning. So what we plan is like you should have a strong financial foundation. One of it is you must get properly protected. Why? Because today I am okay. Well, I'm young. I'm not very young, but anyways, look at me. I can run, I can scream. But time is coming when I cannot do this anymore. Then what happens? Even when I have a very nice house. And then also, as I am working in this country, somebody mentioned about debt. We have a lot of debt around us. What do we do about that debt? It keeps accumulating. Then we say, America is difficult. But here we teach you to actually be debt free. Why? Because it's very, very hard for someone to live free with a lot of debt. So we've had people here who joined with a lot of 6-figure, 7-figure debt, but today they are debt free. So when I jumped and now I know why I'm always here, because now I have the knowledge that can help me to be debt free. And then also here will teach you on that financial living that you call an emergency fund. Anybody that goes to work, you must have an emergency, especially as our business owners in here today. Our businesses have emergency because life happens. When life happens, then what? Then finally investment. But now today I've been tasked to show us, like all of us here are business owners and we have business modules like business plans. How do we make our business big? Why are we even doing these businesses? What is the purpose? So when we join this campaign, one thing I like about it is that it is financially trusted. It doesn't care about your background. We've had people here that join because they want to be somebody, right? I joined because I wanted to be someone. Like I wanted to have a GP for my life. So when you join, we have a goal. The goal is to be $1 million earner. That is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. Like your businesses, you have a goal, right? Somebody mentioned that when you are doing a business, you must have an exit. I think I had somebody mention that. So for us here, when you join, what is your exit for? What are you aiming at? So here we are aiming at being $1 million earner. So this is our model right here. So first of all, when you join a business in this country to run, you must be licensed. So when you join, we have what we call a platform fee. So that platform is that you are joining this organization. That organization is going to help you, like direct you in your business. So you have to do the background check one, just to make sure that, because it's finance, right? It's dealing with people's privacy, people's security and all that. So you must do a background check. And then after that, you also have a business kit. Like all your businesses, like Vivian has a book, and I know she has, like a business kit. So some of you have books, others have pens, others maybe if you're in catering, you need plates and all this. So for us, we have a kit. And then after that, when you do the background check, you have a kit, and then you do the license. And then after that, when you do the license, some steps will require you to have, like, to do your fingerprints. And then after that, then what next? So when you're joining here, what are you joining anyway? You're joining to educate people on how to build their financial foundation so that they can be financially independent. So what do? You have to teach them to build a financial foundation, because that is what financial literacy is. A financial foundation looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. It starts with proper protection. Like I mentioned, you need to protect your income in case of illness. In case you're gone, right? We need to protect that. Then secondly, debt management. You need to know how to manage your debt. When you come to this campaign and then you have debt, you're going to learn. So when you learn, you want to learn so that you can help other people also get out of debt. And then also emergency. So we encourage people to have at least 3 to 6 months of their emergency. Especially as business owners, you need to have an emergency fund. So whatever business income that you are making, can you have at least 6 months of that, just in case, anything happens to you, especially to your business. And then finally, you want to invest. So for investment, we recommend 20 times your income. So look at your business. How much is your business bringing to you? If it's bringing to you maybe 50,000 a month, a year, then you must multiply times 2. That means you need about $1 million for investment. Then, now, when you join, for you to be $1 million, and it starts with a team. So that team, when you join here, your aim is to be an MD. Someone mentioned that when people are having businesses, they want to eat the most sweet, right? But here, you want to eat you can have the elephant. So how is the elephant? When you join, and then the first step is being an MD, like the first step to being a manager. So what do you have to do? Let me stand this side so all of you can see. So the objective is that first of all, when you join, like I said the previous slide, you're building your own financial foundation. Now, you yourself. So when you Michael, can you go back a little bit? Just to one slide a little bit. Here. So I want to educate people to be financially independent. So I have to start with myself. For assuming I save $500, I myself, because I have to practice what I preach. So if I'm saving $500 in my projection, then that $500 can help me to build my financial foundation. So now the goal is that I am now doing this business, right? I want to make $1 million income. So being an MD is what you need. So when you educate, so the target goal for you to become a marketing director, you need at least 3,000 of target premium. What does that one mean? I need to at least find 3 people who can save $1,000. That is in 3 running months. If I can get 3 people saving $1,000, meaning that I can have Michael, I educate him, and then he saves $1,000, or I can get 6 people to save $500. My target is 3,000. Either way I do it, or I can get 10 people who can at least save $300, or I can get 12 people who are saving $250. Why? Because now I'm on a goal, right? So now, if I do either of this, that is going to prompt me to have at least 3,000 in target premium, and that is going to make me an MD. And this one can be done in 3 rolling months. So I can either get these people in 1 month or in 3 months. So once I do that, remember that MD is to become a CEO who is $1 million income, right? So now, after I become an MD, there is another level they call senior marketing director. So for me to arrive at that being a senior marketing director, I need at least 2 duplicate myself. So I need at least, so when I join, I have to bring as many people as I can. But as I'm bringing them on, I want to have the big elephant. Now, when I bring so many, I just want to focus on 2. But at least I should have a minimum of 10 licenses. Let's say I have 15 people join me. Out of those, I need 10 of them should be licensed. When I say licensed, it means the previous slide. They must have passed their background check, and they must have passed the license with either Massachusetts or whatever state that they are in. So anyone I bring, I am targeting 10 people. So once I have 10 people who are properly licensed, now I can start my run to become a senior marketing director. But remember, people say marketing director, I have 10 licenses, but then also I need 2 of those to be MDs, marketing directors, just like me. Are we following? Oh, I'm too fast. You're following? Thank you. I'm just jumping. Should I?
Okay.
You're good? Okay. So.
No, that's my question.
Yes.
That investment you're talking about is monthly or you just invest 1,000 and done?
Very good question. So the 1,000, so this is how we are paid. Go back. So the 1,000 means that I have, let's say I have one person who said 1,000 every month, or 250 every month, or 500 every month, or 300 every month. Does that answer you? Okay. So now let's come back here. So now I want to become SMD, right? I need 10 licenses and I need 2 marketing directors. So one marketing director, remember, should bring me 1,000 of target premium. But since I need 2 MDs, that means I'll need how much? 6,000 of target premium. That means that if I join the business and then I recruit Sanyo and then Milner, so those are marketing directors. So now, if they are able to look for people, right, who can save how much? Okay, educate. That's a better word. To educate people who can save the 6,000. That means that. Now I'll move to the next slide. Okay, now remember the target is to become $1 billion earner, right? So how does it come now? If I myself, I go find Vivian, I educate Vivian, save how much? $500, right? So when she says $500, this is how the company is going to pay me. The company is going to pay me for what Vivian will pay for the whole year. They'll give it to me upfront. Does that make sense? Vivian saves $500, but they're going to pay me upfront for what she will have to pay for the whole year, which is how much? 6,000. So now companies vary. So there's one company that gives me 125% of that, of what Vivian will have to pay. That means for Vivian alone, the company will pay me how much? 7,500. Now, so this is what the company is going to pay. But remember, when you join, we have level. So the first person that joins is actually a trainee associate, and this one is at 25%. The company will now, it's what the company wants to give out. So assuming in my team, I have Sanyu, who is the training agent. Sanyu is at 25%. Sanyu will get paid. 25% of this is how much? 1,875. So in my team too, I also have Milner. But Milner, previously, previously Milner was a training agent, but then she went to the next level. Then she became an associate. Here she's given 35%. So they'll give her 35% of that. So Milner will receive how much? 2,725. But also in my team, remember I am building, I also have Koja. So Koja now is also a marketing director. Here, as an here you get 50%. The 50% of that, so Koja will get paid 3,000. Remember all this by in my team. Then also I have now a senior marketing director in my team as well. This one is at 65%. So 5% of that, they're going to pay you Then let's assume one million higher is an SMD. He's going to be paid this. So now, Michael, just a little bit, just a bit. So that means that if it's me, Lillian, right, and I have all these people, Simon is making money, Milna is making money, Konya is making money, Yahaya is making money as well, right? Okay, now next slide. So let's see, as an SMD, what do I even get? This is all in my team, but I've gotten there, they've been paid what I've showed you previously. So this is me now. If I go out and educate someone, selling $500, I'm paid how much? 4,800 and this. And then this is Sanyu. Sanyu goes out, does the same thing, educate someone selling $500, she gets paid how much? 1,800. Let's go on. So now, because I have an aim of being a CEO, I am building a team, it's not just me. I'm helping Sanyu go to the future. So when Sanyu gets paid this 1,800, you know what is going to happen? Because I brought Sanyu to the business, they are going to pay me an override of whatever Sanyu has brought. So Sanyu has been paid this, 1,800, I've been paid this, but because I brought her to the business, Sanyu has been paid how much? 3,000. Remember, I don't only have Sanyu, I also have Milna. Milna wants to educate someone, $700, she was paid 2,600. They have to give me the difference between me and Milna. I'm at 65, Milna is at 35, how much the difference? Anyone following? 65 minus 35?
I got lost. Can I tell where I got lost?
Yes.
Because I saw the 7,000.
Yes, Debo.
I saw people sharing it, all of it. So how does this company make money? Because the 7,000,
yeah,
you took like 3,000.
Yeah, I took 4,800 and then Sanyu, yeah.
1,000.
Then I took that, yeah, I took that.
Even if whenever I had more than the money.
More than 700.
Exactly. You know what?
What is that?
Yeah, so this is what happens when you bring someone. So they're paying you. Remember, this person is going to pay these premiums for like 20 years. No. If I bring Vivian, she's going to pay this for a long period of time.
No, maybe what he's asking, this is, so what she showed here, it's not one account. Like she's talking about if this person goes and talks to somebody to save 500, this is how much. Then another one goes to somebody different to save 500.
Okay.
Yeah, not that they're all sharing one whatever.
Another question. If I'm taking back. If I bring my friend, then he bring me my commission. And it's my deal. I bring him, he pay the first month, he wait, and I get my money. I bring another one. He doesn't pay the whole premium. What's that?
Well, thank you so much. So they want to call it chargeback. You know, this is the business. So when you do that, that's first part of what is like fraud. You go and convince him, say, you know what, ask just come, pay 1 month and disappear. So what happens when Koja pays for 1 month and he disappears the next month, you're going to pay for it. Yes.
I disappear too.
But you know, yeah, so that's what happens. Yeah, so you have to bring it back.
I knew the answer for other members.
Okay.
I know you. Go back.
Yeah. Don't break and disappear, please. But so
yeah, sorry. But basically this is a business, right? Insurance is also a business. So you can't just bring in Vivian because you know if she saves $500, I'm going to get 3,750. So I don't care if Lillian pays once. Insurance will come back to you and say, hey, the person you gave us. Because remember, Vivian is going to save for a long period. They are only paying you 1 year of what she's going to save for 20 or 30 years. Does it make sense?
Take the challenge. Sometimes I even that's the reason even why I myself. You find that when I'm acquiring a house, They ask my credit and how much I'm getting every month. But within the year, they increase the rent, but they don't come back to how much you're getting, you know. So the time I acquire my house, my bills, I calculate even my insurance. But all my bills go up. Sometimes it comes that I may not be able to pay the 1,000 I committed to pay throughout the year because my bills goes up. What happened in that case?
Okay, so that's why, again, when we sit with you, we do what we call a personal financial strategy. We have to put all that into consideration before you commit to a certain amount that you're going to pay. Because we understand, okay, if you're saying you're going to pay 1,000, are you able to pay 1,000 for the next 20 years? Because this is kind of a lifetime commitment, right? If you cannot afford 1,000, then go for 200, which you can afford. Maybe when your income improves, you can always increase on how much you're saving. You don't really have to go for 1,000, which is going to be very stretching. The most important thing is to start from somewhere, because the challenge is many people don't start. So if you don't start, you still have 1,000, you eat it, you don't have anything tomorrow. But you save $300 or $500, like she's saying, then tomorrow you have some money to actually access. Because when you pay for rent, for example, how much will you have 20 years to come? Nothing. But if you save $500 in an account like Index Universal Life, 20 years later, you actually have money to access, to use in anything else. So that's where we just have to think about the priority.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to answer. So yeah, so let's come back here. So now, everybody has gone out to work, right? I have my teammates, and everybody has gone out to work. Everybody has been paid. Remember, everyone that gets paid, I'm getting an override, right? So for Samuel, I'm getting this. For Milner, I'm getting paid this. And then for Kweja, I'm getting paid that. And then also for my estimate, I'm also paid that. That means that in 1 month, if I go out to work and all my teammates go out to work and they're all educating, people at least saving $500. This is how much money I'm going to make. Just in 1 month. Yes, sir. Did you have a question? I think I did. So this is how our business works. That means that so this is what I will make actually in 1 month. So actually the whole month, my team alone, they make how much? 29,000. And then myself I make, does that mean the demand? I can make that. Can
you marry me?
Yeah, so now the other thing about our business is that you go for the elephant. I want to start because someone got we have to go for the elephant. Why? Because we have generators. I brought Sanyu. When Sanyu brings, let's say Ryan, right? So when Sanyu brings Ryan, now Ryan becomes my first generation. So that means whatever business Ryan makes, I'm going to get 12% of that. Remember, Ryan may also get whatever business Chiza makes, that is my second generation, I'll get 6% of that. Then Chiza will also bring 50. Whatever business Chiza makes, I'll get 2.5%. Chiza will also get Shamim. Whatever business Shamim makes, I am here. I don't even know what's going on. In fact, I'm in Uganda, relaxed. Shamim is working. I'm getting how much? 1.25. Shamim also gets Vivian. Whatever business Vivian makes, I get paid 0.5%. That's how our business works. So you see all those overrides. You see sometimes Michael, sometimes he's in, Hawaii enjoying, sometimes he's running his concert, and because I'm working, this is working, and he's working, he ends up getting paid. Why? Because he brought us to the business. Can you imagine that? And then also, then what we have like bonuses too, not just that, there is bonuses too. Best show, and then also we have trips. The other month, Michael was in Hawaii, fully paid off, fully paid. They just paid him to go and enjoy. Why? Because it's educating people and then people's lives. Then this year we have South Korea. And then also we have stocks. So when you make 50,000 and up, they give you stocks. They start from 750. That is how beautiful this business is. And then also, so remember that the main goal is to become $1 million earner. Now let's the next slide. So our CEO, this was to the 2024. This is what he got just in bonuses. He's actually in Texas, but because of Anababura, this is what he could feed. He is in Texas and we are here in Boston. That was just bonus. Now the EBC. So now, these are the average earnings when you are in business. When you are an EM, that means you have 3 direct SMDs, you get a minimum of 250. What about a CEO? A minimum of $500,000. What about an EBC? When you have 9 direct SMDs, you have at least 750 to $1 million plus. And then SEVC, you're between $1 million actually to 10 million plus. Now, this is the vision for our business. So when you become an SEVC, so now this is the vision to become an SEVC. When you have, imagine you have someone earning, imagine I have someone earning 1 million, Millionaire earning 1 million, Ryan earning 1 million. This goes and goes and goes. So this is what we do here. This is the financial of the campaign, and why I joined and I'm so persistent is because that's my vision. This is a business that has been proven because we have people who are earning this kind of money. Why? Because you recruit someone, you educate people, and then your team goes growing and growing. So you don't have to worry about the exit plan. Like somebody said, like when you have a business, you have to worry about the exit plan. Here, you don't exit. What you do, recruit Vivian, educate her, bring AI on board, educate them, and then you sit back, relax, and then you think about money, making money for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Now I am going to introduce Brian. Brian is an expert in taxes. He's also a financial professional. He's going to take us through how we can leverage on the financial services as business people, as entrepreneurs. Brian, Lipson.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan. Like Michael said, I'm a financial professional here at Burlington Community Financial Center. And I also a tax expert, but I'm an IRS site coordinator. So we are partners with the Internal Revenue Service. And for communities here, we provide free tax preparation for federal and state taxes. So next year, if you know people who maybe can't afford to get their taxes done, or they pay too much because a lot of people spend money, especially entrepreneurs. The moment you have a 1099, it's going to cost you $500 just to file your taxes, and we do it for free. So what I'm going to talk about is the importance of finances in business as entrepreneurs. And I myself am an entrepreneur. I first became an entrepreneur at the age of 8. I started selling candy. I discovered that, when I was on a baseball team, they tell you to go and sell candy outside the market. And I realized I'm selling these for $2, but it only costs 75 cents to buy one. How many times can I do that? So after baseball season, I put my uniform on and go buy some candy bars, go sell them, until my mother found out. And it's a good idea, but unfortunately, it's not ethical. So I started thinking that way with everything, is what can I make money with? And so that's how I just approached everything. And so I've done a number of things, but one of them, I hear everybody talking about the challenges that you've had. I've experienced similar things too. When I graduated college, I wanted to be a business owner. And so I had an opportunity to open a couple cell phone stores, but I needed money and I had no money. So I begged my parents for money and they didn't have any money, but they had equity in their house. So they took out a home equity loan, gave me 50 grand at 23 years old. And I started making a lot of money right away, but I wasn't educated. So I made a lot of money, but I had nothing to show for it because I spent it. I lived well. But one of the challenges I had, like competition, like you were talking about earlier, is Walmart moved into the neighborhood near my 2 stores. And phones that I was selling for 100, they were selling for 0. And so within a year, I was out of it because it's impossible to compete with them. So the challenges are real, and as entrepreneurs, there are many different challenges we have. So I'm going to briefly talk about some of those in my presentation and some of the products that are available to entrepreneurs to help protect us from the effects of those challenges. Bear with me just a moment. Let me change the okay. All right, so we kind of all know what a sole proprietor is because it sounds like most of us are one. But this essentially is somebody who is a business owner and they are the business. They don't have employees. So we do everything from marketing to sales to recruiting to whatever it is, we have to do it. And a bit of a delay there. So, like it says, many of us do different roles. We may work on the road. We may be Uber. An Uber driver is a business owner. They're working for themselves. There are people who may work at events like a DJ, or there are people who run businesses from their home. They can work online. There's many different things that we can do, but regardless of what they are, at the end of the day, we are a business owner. And some of the benefits that we have to being a business owner is we have complete control over everything. So we know how to manage our own finances, our schedule, our customers, and our business assets. We own everything. Many times, some of the businesses we have, we use vehicles. And it's not only just a business vehicle, it's our personal vehicle too. And sometimes those assets can become susceptible to being repossessed, many different things, depending on what happens throughout the business. But with all those benefits, there is one setback that we are fully liable for everything. And most sole proprietors are not an LLC. They file their taxes under their own social security number. And so any debts that they have, they're personally responsible for. So if you own a home, something happens to your business, you owe money, they can come after your home. So these are things that we need to think about. So what are some of the risks of being a sole proprietor? One of them is financial vulnerability. When you are an employee with a company and maybe you become sick, you can have sick pay, you can have FMLA. There's different things that you can receive where you can have money still coming in. But when we're a business owner, and one thing I experienced when I owned my stores is that I worked 7 days a week. When I was sick, I still had to work. When I was hurt, I still had to work. Fortunately, it wasn't to the point where I wasn't able to, but that can happen. What if we have a serious injury? What if we're just driving to work and we get into a car accident? What happens to the store? Who opens it? Nobody. If the store isn't open, customers don't come to it and start losing money. And eventually it goes down that road. The other thing too, like I said, jeopardizing personal assets. Everything is susceptible. Banks can come after us. They can levy our wages. We can end up having judgments placed against us. And now all that stuff is public. And as an entrepreneur trying to expand our business, that doesn't look good for our reputation. So we need to protect ourselves. Another risk, like we kind of just mentioned, health-related risks. If you're an electrician and you're hurt on the job, you need to be able to use your body, your hands to work. Even if you do something as simple as injuring your hand. Now, how are you going to work? You can't make any money. But there are many people that we support. There's people that we support here, there's people we support in other countries that rely on. So they really need to ensure that we are protected as well. So we teach a lot of things here where it's about paying yourself first before you pay others, because we have to have some kind of emergency fund in place to be able to continue to send money home and to take care of our loved ones here. So we have business continuity challenge. You have a business and something happens to you. You may need to hire someone temporarily to keep that business going, because you might have a business where clients prepay you in advance. If you're a DJ and you're hired to perform at a wedding, people pay you months in advance. They're expecting you to show up. So if you can't, you need to find a business that pays. You don't have to be that. So emergency funds, planning for the future, keeping and planning. Like this says here, ensuring continuity requires proactive planning and adequate insurance coverage. So yes, we provide a lot of insurance here and we talk about things, but there's many good reasons why. You know, personally, I've been an entrepreneur and owned a business. When it comes to insurance, I've had insurance since I was 11 years old. So my mother taught me about insurance and why I need to have it. And I also, when she passed away, became a beneficiary. So I understand all aspects of how having that source of money come into you can really change your life and keep things afloat. It's extremely important. But the other thing too, we have medical bills. So we may not have any issues with our business, but while we are recovering, things cost money. And as a business owner, we're not like an employee where we have Blue Cross and all these different things. We have to pay for our own health insurance, which costs a lot of money. A lot of small business owners and sole proprietors, they go without health insurance because starting out the business, they don't have a lot of money. And so they think I'm healthy enough to be till something. That can be a major setback for us. So there are products available for sole proprietors and small business owners called long-term care coverage. Is anybody familiar with what long-term care coverage is or what it does? Yeah, okay. So long-term care coverage helps us with the expenses that we would incur if we were injured and did need to be hospitalized, go to physical therapy, many different things that are expensive. It also provides in-home care services, nursing home stays, and assisted living. You know, you think if you break your hip, some kind of injury, you're down for 6 months to a year at least. What is the cost to stay at a assisted living facility so you can rehabilitate? Thousands of dollars a month. And so long-term care coverage can provide coverage for you when you're unable to perform two of what they call the, ADL, active activities of daily living, like bathing, dressing, caring for yourself. And so when you have this type of insurance, it will pay you every month, tax-free. It's not considered income because it's an insurance benefit. So if you have a policy that you're paying into, like Michael was talking about, say $500, your death benefit, you're going to access while you're alive. That's why it's called life insurance, not death insurance. It covers you your whole life. But a lot of people don't know that this is available. A lot of times people always look for the cheapest insurance. So on like social media, you see you get $1 million for $30 a month, which is term insurance, but it doesn't cover you. It only covers you when you die. This covers you while you're alive. So this is an important piece of coverage for entrepreneurs to have. So here. Switching. The other important piece to long-term care coverage is that it gives us access to higher care and higher quality care facilities. So just for example, if you have $1 million life insurance policy that has long-term care coverage, you can access 2% of that coverage per month tax-free. That's $20,000. That might seem like a lot of money compared to our income, but for what it's going to cost us to pay for the kind of assistance that we need, that's probably just enough to cover it. And so imagine what happens when we don't have this kind of coverage and the bills that we will incur. Even if you have 80% coverage, you're going to have a 20% copay. 20% of $10,000, $15,000 a month is still a lot of money. So it's important to look at this. So these are some of the benefits that long-term care can provide to you. You can get protection up to $2 million. Also, when you file a claim for long-term care, you have guaranteed that it's not going to lapse while you're receiving that money. Your policy is going to stay active. You have here rider charges and waived. So all policies have some different types of charges included for the services that you pay for. But all of those get waived while you're on the claim because they know you're not making income, you're injured. You have long-term care rider benefit has the potential to grow over time. So your death benefit on your policy, there's different options, but one of them is an increasing death benefit. So every year, your death benefit increases. And because your long-term care coverage is based upon your death benefit, the amount of money you would receive also increases. Then you have available residual death benefit. So the money that they pay you for your long-term care protection comes from your death benefit. So if you were to pass away, your beneficiaries would receive your death benefit less any money that you already used while you were alive. So just to show you an example, here's somebody who's contributing $500 a month with a $250,000 death benefit. And you can see this particular person is a male who's 32 years old. And on the top, we have additional policy benefits. We have long-term care coverage and terminal illness accelerated death benefit. So say you're 32 years old and you were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, or anything. That qualifies as a terminal illness for the accelerated death benefit rider. You can access all of your death benefit while you're alive. So for somebody who may have months to live, you can live it comfortably with that kind of money. Yes, your beneficiaries may not receive as much afterwards, but the purpose of this is not just to protect others after you pass on, to protect yourself. But in this example, the $500 contribution that they talk about saving each month, Michael was talking about how if you have, a particular product that you pay rent, he was giving the example. After you pay rent, what do you have left at the end? And you leave nothing. Well, that's what term insurance is. Term insurance is like renting an apartment. Put all this money into it over a period of 20, 30 years. And if you don't die, that's it. You don't get anything. The insurance company gets it. With this type of policy, every dollar you put in will become available to you in cash to take out of your policy. So to show your example, in year one, the first 32, so he'd now be 33. He puts in $6,000, $500 a month each year. By year 5, he contributed $30,000. His cash value continues to increase based on what they call a non-guaranteed projection. So they're estimating 7.25%. We are, if I go back one page, this particular product, you can invest in the global markets, or I shouldn't say invest. The money is based upon investments and their performance. So the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the US, you can put your money to mimic the returns that are received from someone who, is basically like buying stock. Stock, you have to purchase ownership in a company, but you have a lot of risk. The stock goes down. You're not actually buying stock in the S&P 500. Your policy pays you interest based on the performance of the S&P 500. So in this case here, Every dollar that you put into the policy, like year 5, is almost sitting there. You got 24,000 available, you put 30,000 in. If we go down to year 10, you've contributed 60,000 in total. $66,000 in cash is available for you to access. So if you put your money into a bank, like Bank of America, for example, and you let it sit there, they pay 0.001% interest on a checking account. You would never even see that much money in probably 30, 40 years with it. But by year 10, every dollar you put in is sitting there plus more. So for 10 years, you receive a benefit of protection. If something happened to you, this policy would have paid out to either you or your beneficiary. And every year that goes further, compound interest allows that cash to grow. So if you're an entrepreneur and some businesses are susceptible, to seasons. If you are someone who has a snowplow business and it's summertime, there's no money coming in. But if you need access to money, there's money here to help you get through till the next season. There's many different things that can be used for. If you need to purchase a new vehicle, you need to major repair on a vehicle. This is money that you can access tax-free as a loan from your policy. And as we keep going on, you see the death benefit continues to increase. So if you were to be injured, say at any of these ages, 2% of this is what you'd be paid each month for long-term care until you are able to recover and get back to work with your business. And it's the same $500 a month. So it's important for people to have and to look at for the death benefit part as well, because we may be the sole income earner in the family. And if we're unable to produce income or we pass on, our family still has bills. They may still have rent, a mortgage payment, car payments, insurance, different things. This ensures that they're protected as well, not just yourself. So another thing that I want to talk to you about here, if we've gone, you can see here, most people want to retire somewhere around 60s, early 70s. If this particular person just continued contributing $500, they've only put in $240,000 at age 72 in total. Look at the cash reality, $877,000. So imagine what that could do for you if you own a home and you're going into retirement and you still owe money on a mortgage. You could just pay your home off. What if you want to travel? Anything you want to do, you have the ability to do it. And that's from compound interest. So there's another cool thing as an entrepreneur and a business owner that many people aren't aware of, is that your kids can become your best employees for tax purposes. So in 2025, the IRS, when you file taxes next year, you get a standard deduction of $15,000. That's the government gives you $15,000 off the tax that you owe to bring down your tax liability. Well, your kids can receive up to $15,000 and not have to pay taxes on it. And so, any children under the age of 18 that are employed in a parent-owned business are not subject to Social Security and Medicare taxes, provided the business is a sole proprietorship or a limited partnership where both partners are parents of the child. So both parents are a partner in a business, or one parent is. Your child can technically be an employee, meaning that you provide them a 1099. So that takes money off the books for the business and keeps that money in the family. But there's a purpose of why. So like I said, you can deduct the salaries that you pay your children from your business income, which will reduce your overall taxable profit. As a business, As you reduce your taxes, that brings your tax rate down, which is going to save you on your end. But like I showed you in the example with the policy before it and the cash growth, think of what you could do with that money that you're not going to pay the government now. So I'll show you some examples of that. So what this states here from the IRS Form 91 is that you can pay up to $15,000 without it being taxable for any children. The standard deduction for single individuals is $15,000. The business gets to take the deduction. And when the children file their own tax return, which they can, as long as they don't make more than $15,000, their tax liability is zero. So $15,000 is equal to $1,250 a month. So what if you took 1,000 of that money that you're writing off your business and you put it into something like an index universal life policy that Michael mentioned, just like the policy I showed you on the previous person. So let's say the child's 7 years old and you're putting $1,000 a month. By age 12, 5 years later, you would have contributed $47,000, and the cash value on the policy, $46,000 in 5 years. So almost every dollar you put in is sitting there for you as the parent, the controller of the policy, to access. Again, as an entrepreneur, if we have downtimes in the business, it's an additional source of funds that are available to keep things afloat. As time goes on to year 10, the child's now 17 years old. You put in 102,000, there's 123,000. So you're already increasing your money. And it just compounds down. So if we go out to 20 years later, you're looking here at 186,000 you've contributed. The cash value more than double, 382,000. The death benefit also has increased from 258,000 to $1 million. Now, as a parent, you can transfer this policy over to your child when they turn 18 or later, or you can just keep funding it yourself. But the source of cash is going to continue to grow. And imagine, I think of myself when I was the beneficiary of my mother's policy when I was in my early 20s. And imagine what that could do to help or even fix generational poverty. If we teach parents and we teach them to teach their children to start this early, every generation, when one passes on, the next is going to be starting out with access to money that they may not be able to get from a bank. They may not be able to start their business because they don't have the funds available. So this provides us a real source of that generational inheritance. And if we look here, this child, let's see, age 41, if they never took any money out of the policy, you keep just funding that money from the business, which you otherwise be paying to the government, child becomes a cash millionaire. That's $1,020,000 that they can literally withdraw from that policy and use for anything that they need fit. 41 years old. So what is the chance that a child who starts working after college between age 22 and 41 is going to have $1 million saved? Probably not. They're probably still going to be paying off college. So the power of this type of product is huge because this is money that you'd be giving to the government. And so you're just taking the same money and using it almost like the government's money to create wealth for your next generation. And if you just teach them to do the same thing for their children, this will continue with every generation forward. But for business protection as an entrepreneur, this ensures that we always have access to cash. If we don't have access to cash, we have to go to banks. And if things aren't going well for the business, banks might not give us money. Then we have to borrow, and when we borrow, we have to pay interest. So if we're going to pay interest, why not just pay ourselves and then use our own money? Then we don't have to apply for money. We're not susceptible to being denied. We have our own funds. So I just wanted to show you some of those examples of the types of products that we do have and how these really can benefit, entrepreneurs. And it doesn't have to be $500 a month. It can be $200 a month. Because of compound interest, what it needs is time. So as long as you have the time to let it sit there, it's going to grow on its own. And no matter what amount you contribute, at 30 or 40 years, the amount of money that's going to accrue is going to be far better than putting that money just sitting, in a big bank or sitting in the bank, but they're not going to pay you on it. So that's my presentation here. Michael is now going to come up. And actually, was one important thing I just wanted to mention. If you employ your children, as long as the kids are doing legitimate work for your business, you can hire them. So just as an example, if you have somebody who's a DJ, they need help set up the equipment. They can't just be paid. You can't just pay your child for nothing. So another way too is business owners will use their children's marketing materials. So they use them in pictures, and then they compensate them for their work. So that's what the IRS wants to see, that they're actually doing some form of work. So that's the key thing, is they have to actually somehow be contributing to the business. And you can have 2 kids, 3 kids, still do the same thing. So imagine if you had 3 kids, all with that kind of policy. You've just secured your own protection for your business and their futures for $500 or that's depending on what you want to do. But does anybody have any questions on that? Tax benefits? Okay. All right, so I'll hand this off to Michael.
All right. Enrique, okay, because we are already 50 minutes late, I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to display questions that I want you to screenshot and go back home and answer yourself. So these are self-analysis questionnaire for your personal inventory. Just take a screenshot of those questions and answer yourself. Did we have a great day? Do you think so? By the way, this thing was supposed to be free. And I said, I want people to pay so they can get that value. Most of the time when things are free, we take them for granted. Huh? I know. But also because we want continuity of this forum, I find that, again, to those of you who had not yet come, this is the second page. Those of you who had not yet come, I said, I borrow that from this. Even these questions are actually in this book.
In my journal.
Oh, you made journals? Oh, wonderful. So, again, the mastermind is very important. And I believe we can all go places with our entrepreneurship if we get to come together in such programs at least once a year. How about that? At least once a year, we come together, we talk about the,
challenges and successes, and we learn from each other, I believe we can change our community. So ask yourself all these questions when you go back. She says she has them in the journal, in her journal. These are very important self-reflection books. Rather self-reflection questions that you have to ask yourself. And I'll end with this. When I was starting out as a financial professional, I got a lot of resistance from my family members or the people that I was living with, because they didn't understand this. They didn't understand that a person can actually make a living by not working, but simply getting your computer and talk to somebody. So it is simply because they didn't understand what I'm saying. So many times your people will actually come to you and try to bring you down, not because they don't like you, but because they feel they are losing you. They feel like they need to put sense in you. So this is what Napoleon said. Close friends are relatives. Why are not meaning to do so? Often I become one through opinions and sometimes through ridicule that is meant to be human. Thousands of men and women carry inferiority complexes with them all through life because some well-meaning but ignorant person is showing their confidence through opinions or ridicule. You have a brain and mind of your own. Use it to reach your own decisions. If you need facts or information from other people to enable you to reach decisions, and you probably will in many instances, acquire the facts to secure the information you need quietly without disclosing your purpose. So let no one stop your dream. Let's all get to work towards our goal. All right. Thank you very much. We are going to go for dinner. So we get food from there and we are going to sit there. All right. Thank you very much.
Can we get like a